Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we're doing a week in the life of a warm winter week in the life of. So last week was like 20s all week and maybe low 20s overnight or teens, and got a little cold, and it was an early part of the winter, so we didn't get a lot done. We did a week in the life of last week, but it wasn't a lot going on. When it's that cold, a lot of stuff doesn't get done. So when it's winter time, we look at the forecast really close. So when we see a week where we're gonna get a warm spell and it's gonna be like 50s like today and yesterday and some of this week, even if it's raining, we try and get some of the jobs done we want to do while it's warm. So this week we're gonna work on getting some engines moved around. They were actually do that this morning so that we can work on some engines. That Cadillac, we're gonna take the trans and stuff off of that and talk about what we have plans for that 390 Cadillac engine. We got another flathead to swap around for Steve to inspect and see if it's a good one to sell on. We're also going to work on some lights and stuff. We are waiting for our final, everything's inspected for our electric and stuff for the new service, and we're just waiting for the electric company to plug the meter in, which hopefully will happen maybe this week. But Mike's also going to work on, we're renting a lift, and we're going to hang some of the high bay lights and finally get all the lights like set up so we can plug them in or flip the switch and we can see what the lighting's going to look like in the shop with all the lights. And working on the Mercury, who knows what else we're doing this week. So got a bunch going on. We're going to dodge raindrops, but we're going to get some stuff done while we have a warm winter week. So let's get started. And of course it's winter time, and if you have a 1940s tractor, they always have a secret handshake. So I'm the only one that can start it in the cold or really drive it. Trust driving it. I use trust loosely. Oh, we got 2 fires that time. Shouldn't be this hard. And that was choke and idle combination right. Yep. Not enough air. Now we're charging. All right, so we did some engine switcheroonies today because, like I mentioned, it's going to be warm this week, so we're just getting stuff set up ahead of time. So we have an endless supply of engines, almost, it feels like it, in the new building, and we scrapped a bunch of engines. So some of these engines, right now we're going through the engines. We bought that big speed equipment collection in Minnesota, and we took, I don't know, 4 or 6 engines out of there. Some of them we sold, but we had probably still 3 or 4 left that were mystery engines. So Steve ran the other one you saw in the Week of the Life of last week. This is the next one. What's it? It looked very clean inside, and
probably just a little worn out. It was a sleeved motor, had pretty big ridges, and the compression wasn't great. I think it's just maybe just a tired engine, but it looks like a good one.
Yeah, so we're gonna put it on the stand, even though we know it's tired. We're gonna see if we can get it to run and just hook up the cooling system, and like we always do, just see if it's cracked or there's any super obvious stuff. So we're already this far. Steve's got it turning over and everything, so if we put some pistons in it, spark plugs in it, and hook the intake and all that stuff, which we have our run stand pieces, we can run this thing with all extra parts pretty easily. And then if it doesn't overheat or we don't see anything weird and it's just that it's got low compression or maybe burn some oil, it's a good donor, and we could sell it to somebody to put in a jalopy or a good candidate to rebuild. Over here we have the big Caddy engine. So people were guessing what we were planning with this engine. So a local guy, Butch, he runs a shop, a restoration shop, or for a private collection, I should say, just a shop, and they're not really restoring stuff. They're more customizing and hot rodding and street rodding stuff. So this engine was in a 62 Caddy that was restored and was driving around, and I think they drove it for a little while, and then 2 of the freeze-out plugs, the knock-in freeze-out plugs, started to leak. They put some of the expanding rubber ones in. They were still seeping, and then sometimes this happens. They're just like, let's just pull it and put an LS in. So this is happening a lot. Fortunately for hot rodders that are into nostalgic stuff, we're able to buy these engines. So Butch texted me. He knows I'm into this stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff from him over the years, and he said, hey, get this thing out of my way. I got this big Caddy engine in trans. So it's a 62 390. This is one of the last years of the early style engines, early overhead valve style engines, and it's a really, this is great engine. The only difficult thing is the later ones, 55 and up, they have this short bell housing like you would expect from a small block Chevy or a lot of the modern engines, which they didn't make as many transmission adapters for these as they did the earlier extended bell style Caddy engines. So that's gonna be a little difficult, but you could see this thing was like it was in a restored car, so like everything on it is like new and gone through, and like all the hardware and bolts are all, you could see are like new bolts. This isn't some worn out junkyard engine. This is an engine that was more than likely rebuilt when it was restored. I think he mentioned something that the trans was rebuilt, or he had a tag for that or a receipt with the car. So my plan is, I think, that Lincoln Continental project that we haven't talked about a lot, it is cool that it has the V12 in it, but I think for drivability and what I want for the car, putting this, now that this is coming to my life, these things are something like almost 400 foot-pounds of torque, like good engine for pulling that car out. So I'd like to strip this engine down, take some of the extra power steering and crap off of it, much like we did the 38 convertible, get a Holley carburetor, brand new Holley carb, put that on there, kind of hide it with a nostalgic air cleaner, and then put this engine in front of the Lincoln drive line. So the Lincoln that we got, that 41 Continental, has factory overdrive in it in the trans. So if we can leave that, it'll be super cool to have this Caddy engine, get rid of the auto, put it in front of the Continental stuff, and with the hood down, it's going to look like it should. But it's also cool. It could be, a 60s version of a custom. So that's what we have planned. So Steve's going to pick this up. These things are a pain in the ass to take the trans off of because the torque converter has like something like 50 bolts or something to take out around it, or 35 or something. For whatever reason, they put an excessive amount. So Steve's going to work on getting this all split and stripped down of all the pieces we don't need so we can sell them and keep just what we need and have it on the shelf. And I'm going to keep working away at the Mercury here. I'm over here in the corner hammering and dollying and tack welding.
All right, so we rented a scissors lift from Home Depot. We're gonna hang some lights today in the high bay. This is the last bit of lights we need to do, and then hopefully gonna wire it up so that all the lights work. All of them combined should draw under 20 amps, which is pretty wild. So we'll be able to still use the extension cord so we can get some power over here. So let's get this thing unloaded. And of course it's pouring rain today. So. What's that mean, doggy? 4. There we go.
Oh, 6.4. Double.
Good job, Moon Doggy. Gonna tilt back, bud. Watch out. All right, boss man.
Blind me. See what you got. Better wow me. Oh. Wow. Wow.
All right, so we got the lights hooked up. It's super bright down here. It's great. I got 2 lights on either side of the office. Underneath is all done. I'm gonna do the same thing. I wired in a light switch here, so I can just come in the door and flick it on. We can leave it plugged in. I'm gonna do the same thing upstairs because I'm not gonna need those lights on all the time while working. So big progress. Since we have the scissors lift here, the gutters are clogged from the neighbor's trees. So I'm gonna take this outside, and actually surprisingly the gutter on this side is clogged. And then the main building, I unclogged it when the building was built.
When this building was built, yeah.
So I unclogged it and it's pouring water out again. So
yeah.
We're gonna try and dodge between torrential downpours because it's slowed up right now but hasn't stopped. So
right.
Do some building maintenance while the lift's here, and then get it loaded back up and take it back to Home Depot. But this is 4 lights, man, made a crazy difference down here.
Hell yeah.
She's nice and bright.
It's for you, buddy. sure you want to film this?
Huh?
Sure you want to film this?
Why not? Hear that?
Holy smokes, yeah, you hear that water go. Wow. Hey. Oh, look at ya.
There's a whole fucking other, there's a shit ton of leaves in here.
Is there?
All right, today is Thursday. Ready? We got lights in here. So great. I'm gonna walk up the stairs now. Still need to clean up our extension cord thing, but got lights. This has made it so nice in here. Just even yesterday after I loaded up the lift, we were done for the day. Kept the doors closed. I was able to photograph a bunch of stuff. Not have to worry about lighting or anything like that because it's nice and bright in here. So I got a dozen things to ship, some merch. Nothing too crazy, but I need to work on cleaning up in here because we need to start parking Big Red in here again. It's getting to that time of year where it's going to start to snow. So we are going to try and clean up in here. I need to work on getting the office wired today, do some wiring and start insulating, and then clean up out here so we can get Big Red in to get it out of the inclement weather. So a bunch of just randomness to do today, nothing too crazy. Like I said, only a handful of packages. Our business kind of slows down a little bit between Black Friday and Christmas. People aren't buying us much stuff for car projects because of Christmas, so it slows up a little bit and then it'll ramp up after the new year. So just clean up and continue to get organized.
it.
Steve and I are touching it.
Yeah, it's all you.
All right, this is one of our favorite things. It is cold, but we have to jockey cars around, so we're gonna decided to push the Mercury out so you can see it outside, not in the garage, which is cool. Didn't make the outro yesterday because it was pouring rain, so weren't gonna do that, but still need to lower the rear some more. But
It was definitely pouring yesterday. That was miserable.
yeah, looking better. You have to correct the gas filler neck and that stain there,
You do that when you do the taillights.
and the gas filler neck.
Yeah.
But this side is definitely get a good shot of what's going on there. It's got a good flow to it all. I remade this panel in the back here, and this is what I was working on earlier today. So I remade this whole panel, like to put a nice curvature in the body line. Didn't have it right before, and just got to start marrying all the panels together. A little strip I'm gonna have to make here and there just to get everything to flow all the way to the back. All that different little nitpicky stuff we have to do before we weld it together, but it's got a good flow to it.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. Put on the side. Put on the side. And it becomes a kid stuff. Are we backing it in?
I don't know.
Okay.
You gotta take them off first.
All right, today is Friday. It is really cold. It was like 20 degrees this morning, so it's chilly in here. But our ride with the shirts got finished. I got a call from the print shop on Wednesday, so like a week turnaround. So very happy. Banged them out quick for us. So this is a 2X. Look at that. They look great. So I'll be boxing these up today. They'll be going out. You should have them before Christmas. Today is the 13th. So if you are in the US, you should have these before Christmas. No promises, but I'm gonna try my best. So today, get these all laid out on the table, package them, get them out in the mail today. So hopefully they get delivered before next Saturday. So get these all laid out by size and start boxing up orders. Shiny.
Gotta do the rear.
I love how the young guy is the one holding the camera.
Yeah, that's how fucking young guys don't know how to work these days.
Hey.
We'll put it in your way. Oh.
Yeah, we'll move. That just gets it. Get your strap off. We thought we would do a podcast on kind of like our top 5 tips or things that keeps us motivated, me specifically, especially because I've always been really good at staying motivated and juggling 18 projects.
As long as I've known you, you've had more than one car project.
Oh.
More than 3 or 4 car projects going at one time.
More than healthy.
Yes.
But
more than garage space, actually.
Yeah. So we always have people that stop by, and that's one, or that we meet in person. That's one thing that I think we get comments. One of the most popular things or common is people go, I don't know how you juggle. Even my father to this day, and I've been this way my whole life. He's like, I don't know how you juggle so many projects.
The thought goes through my head quite often.
And insanity makes me sane.
Yeah.
That's a way to.
That's what a crazy person would say.
Yes. So we thought we would discuss like a kind of top 5 things that help keep motivated. And if you're listening to this and it's wintertime, or you listening to this and you got a project that you haven't touched in way too long, maybe some of these things will help you. And we talk about 1 or 2 of these, especially one of them. Our number one thing we talk about. I say it in videos all the time. It's one of my it's become one of my taglines. Excuse me. So
we have to make a shirt or a sticker about it. You say it so often.
Yeah, people have asked for that. So my number one thing is small victories. I say it a lot. And basically what it is
setting a goal and sticking to it is what I try and, at this point for me, I don't need to set a goal. It is just ingrained in my brain. That's just how I am. But if you're trying to get motivated in the wintertime or at all, setting a goal, sticking to it, doing whatever your goal is. And I know a lot of times people will talk about like, oh, well, if we could do this full time,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Well, remember, I worked most of my life. I worked a normal job. So like this is the same thing I would do. Set a goal, stick to it. Do one thing a day, a week, a month to your project or projects, whatever it is. And this can be related to house stuff, life, anything.
Yeah.
All right, so it's Friday, and we've had a pretty busy week. I said at the beginning, towards the end of the fall, or into the fall, that we were like, we're pretty much done doing week in the life of. Nothing's going on in the wintertime. It's actually quite the opposite. We have a lot going on when we start thinking about it. So this week was pretty busy. So Mike got big strides on the new building with wiring and everything, and getting some work done on the office. And it's very soon we'll have a nice cozy heated office to work in, which will be
Soon.
nice.
It's getting very cold out, so.
Yeah, so some days it's been very cold, so he definitely needs to get that done for himself. We also, kind of unplanned, my friend George, local hot rodder and car guy, he recently took over, has been passed the torch from like a 90 or 91-year-old gentleman who was doing Columbia rears in our area. And right when I wanted to get a Columbia done by him, he was like, I'm done, I'm not doing anymore. And health, and age, he wasn't slowing down. So he basically kind of coached George, gave him some of his specialty tools and notes and all the years of doing them, kind of coached George on doing them. And mine was the first one that they did together. And George randomly this morning was like, hey, you around? I got your rear done. So
You owe me some money.
yeah, he did owe me some money. That wasn't the fun part. So dropped off this rear. For anybody that kind of the background on this rear, we went to Virginia, man, years ago. This was
22.
Was it 22?
Yeah, it was right that first year that I started working full time.
Okay, so we went, and did we do West Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah, we did the West Virginia where it was in the bamboo hidden estate, and we split off from Mike. Mike went to do some family stuff, and a few of us, 2 or 3 of us, then stayed in my truck, and we went to the box truck in my truck, and we went to Virginia and visited a viewer that had a 44 that his dad built like in the 50s or 60s, and he was changing the car up a little bit. We bought the Olds engine, which we still have. We bought the trans. We bought a bunch of parts, but most importantly, I got the Columbia rear out of it, and this is it. So much like I told him, I was keeping that for myself to get redone. So got the rear back. My initial thought was that I was going to put it in the delivery, but since we're having so much fun working on the Mercury, I think I'm going to put it in the Mercury. We have some other Columbia rears, but the Mercury, we need to lower it some more in the back. So now we got the rear. It's kind of like everything just falls in line. So we got the electric over vacuum switch kit for it as well. So we're going to put that in. But it'll be very nice because this car, one of the downsides to this car had 378s in it. And when you were driving on a really hot day on the highway for, 30 minutes or an hour or whatever or more, it would start to heat up. You just from the high RPMs start to see the engine run hotter than you'd like, and that was just gearing. So by putting this in, it's going to make the car nice cruiser, and with the custom, it's going to be awesome to cruise around with a Columbia rear in it. It's just another one of those really neat early Ford nerdy accessory things that we all lust after, so I'm very happy to have it. So that's what the nice end to the week. Got the roof on the Mercury going pretty good, so next week I'm hoping to weld it all back in, and get the sail panels welded to the main roof section, weld it all back in, so we'll have a couple more videos in that process. And yeah, so we've got a lot going on, and as always, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you guys for following along. Another cold week in the life of. Thanks guys. Catch you later.